driving basics number 3, hatch markings. So I call them hatch markings, I think a lot of people do, and it's the markings that are on your screen at the moment, broken white line with either lines and chevrons inside. Okay, a lot of people I do see doing these correctly and using them well, and other people literally think you can't go in them from how they're driving, and I just want to sort of clarify that and get a bit of a one out there about these markings. So I think potentially the way they're worded in the highway code can put a lot of people off. So it is worded as do not enter unless safe and necessary to. So that would make some people potentially think that, okay, I can't go in them. But if you flip that, if it's necessary to and it's safe to, you absolutely can get in those markings that are in the road in front of you. So let's have a look at a couple of examples of where we could and why it's best to get into those markings. Often they are actually designed to protect traffic that is turning right, and if you haven't used them, they can't protect you. So again, that would be another reason to be thinking of maybe how you can think of the markings differently, rather than, oh no, I can't enter into them. They're there to protect you. So there's a junction coming up in a minute, and regularly I see people avoiding the markings, in some cases dangerously. So it's a right turn, it's a shared turn zone, which means I'll show you on Google Earth, there is no line dividing the sections. So if it's safe and necessary to, I can go into any part of that turn zone. There's a lorry turning, so I'm going to wait back a little bit here. There's no big vehicles emerging, so I'm going to straight away get inside these markings here, the broken white line, and look how easy that makes getting into my turn zone, ready to now complete my right turn. Very, very simple. The advantage to me was no one was coming towards me with a right signal, so no one is going into that shared turn zone. And so by using those markings, I went in much more fluid. So I'm going to do that again in a minute, and I'm not going to use the markings even if it's safe to, and I'm going to go into the turn zone quite late. And what I want you to try and think about is the effect that could have on someone coming towards me and what they might think I'm about to do. Because I have a lot of learners driving the opposite way to we were there, and someone doesn't go in those markings and very late goes into the turn zone, and it makes my learner think they're going to complete the turn. Just say I do. Tell me right now, baby. And like I said, when my learners are coming from the opposite direction where that lorry is now, it doesn't half scare them, because they think that the person is just going to complete their turn. So see how I'm not going to use the markings and they're very late. Oh, I can't use them anyway. Into the turn zone. And it confuses the lorry driver a little bit, because he thinks, God, is he gonna complete his turn? And then he just feels it's safer to let me in. Now I couldn't use the markings that time because that lorry was about to emerge from the side road. That is going to go inside those markings, so that was kind of a perfect example of if it's safe, we go inside. But that, you can see how I confused the lorry driver with my sudden movement inside the right turn zone there, whereas before, if I'd have just been gliding into that, there would have been no problem. If I had done that properly, I would be looking to take that a lot slower so that I don't confuse the lorry with that sharp turning that I'm going to take. So there's another example coming up now. I'm turning right at some traffic lights now. There's a big HGV, so I'm not going to enter into those markings yet. I'm going to put a signal on, and now I'm going to start to move inside those markings. Now I'm helping the traffic flow because the traffic to my left can now continue as I now get into position ready to complete my right turn. So I needed to consider there was bigger vehicles coming towards me, and they might prevent me from using those markings that time. But by getting inside the markings, it's much clearer to people behind me where I'm going, So I'm not leaving anyone any room to do anything dodgy, shall we say, and get alongside me. I'm helping the traffic to flow better, and I'm better protected as well. So another example of where those markings, if we enter into them, if we understand that we can enter into them, we just have to have that need. The need is usually turning right. That helps us to help flow the traffic better, as well as better protecting ourselves. It must be pointed out, and of course most people, this will be completely obvious, and I would have thought to everyone, but of course if that is a solid white line that borders those markings, lines or chevrons, then you must not enter in unless it is an emergency.